Why muZimbabwe ndinomkamishira Muchirongwa chedu chevechidiki uhlelo The Connection lelami uMike Hove. Welcome mthakazo muhle wonke umuntu ongenayo kuhlelo ngiyalamukela kuhlelo lethu labasakhulayo uhlelo The Connection lelami uMike Hove. Welcome Zimbabwe muhle to The Connection Studio 7's very own youth program that targets tackling anything and everything youth related. Zimbabwe tinourombo kuti atikwanise kukupa chirongwa chisemazuva ose. This program is not live nepamsana pechirwere coronavirus because of umkhuhlane lo we-coronavirus. Sonke siyasebenza sisezindlini Zimbabwe because of COVID-19. We're all working from home, so I'm giving you this program coming to you from my couch in Washington DC. Zvisinei Zimbabwe tiri pano pachirongwa chedu chevechidiki uhlelo The Connection lelami uMike Hove. Nasi muchirongwa chikubata nyaya yezvechirwere coronavirus siqhubekela phambili sikhangela udaba lomkhuhlane we-COVID-19. Over the weekend, sizwe umongameli Emmerson Mnangagwa announcing etshela uzulu ukuthi uhlelo lwe-lockdown, chirongwa che-lockdown chishange chichendra mberi chiri pa phase 2 for an indefinite period. It's going to be reviewed once every 2 weeks. So yikho lokho okushiwo ngumongameli Emmerson Mnangagwa when he was saying ukuthi uhlelo lwe-lockdown luzabe luqhubekela phambili okwesikhathi eside. They're going to be reviewing it once every 2 weeks. Panopfura mavhiki maviri. Saka ndiyo nyaya yatinayo nasi muchirongwa tishange tichikurukura nevechidiki tichinzwa kuti chirongwa ichi che-lockdown, how is it affecting impilo zabo? But before we delve deeper into lokho okushiwo ngumongameli Emmerson Mnangagwa, let's delve into the numbers of how many people are affected by COVID-19 worldwide, even in Zimbabwe. So as we speak, Zimbabwe, according to Johns Hopkins University, there are over 4,800,000 people worldwide that have tested positive for COVID-19. The last time we spoke, Zimbabwe, the number was at 4,200,000. Just in a space of weeks since the last time we spoke, over 600,000 people worldwide have tested positive for COVID-19. Now, for the death toll itself, the death toll has risen to over 310,000 people worldwide. The numbers has also increased since the last time we spoke. According to the Ministry of Health, 46 people have tested positive for COVID-19. The number of deaths is still at 4. It has not changed in a while. And fortunately, the number of people who have recovered from COVID-19 has increased to 18. Now, according to the most recent tweet issued by the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Health, as we speak, has conducted over 29,000 COVID-related tests in the country up to date. 16,121 are a result of what they call RDT tests, which is rapid screening tests, and 13,104 are a result of PCR tests. Down to the lockdown, asizweni phela ukuthi umongameli Emmerson Mnangagwa, what did he say on Saturday? Umongameli Emmerson Mnangagwa addressed the media, addressed the nation, as a matter of fact, on Saturday, whereby he announced ukuthi uhlelo lwe-lockdown luzabe luqhubekela phambili. Let's head over to a clip that we have, courtesy of Zim Paper's TV network, that we extracted off their Facebook page. Lapho umongameli Emmerson Mnangagwa was highlighting things that need to be done as we continue the lockdown at phase 2.
Government notes with satisfaction the continued positive impact of the lockdown measures our country has implemented since 30 March 2020 to date. Initial estimates indicated that by 29th April 2020, Zimbabwe would have about 1,000 confirmed COVID-19 cases. Our country, therefore, undertook an intensive surveillance and case-finding approach. This entailed testing all hospitalized patients for COVID-19, individuals presenting with fever and influenza-like illnesses, as well as contact tracing. Based on the modeling, the country needed to test 33,340 in order to identify the estimated 1,000 cases. However, as at 15th May 2020, 42 confirmed cases have been identified out of the PCR and RDT tests done. It is noteworthy that the World Health Organization classifies COVID-19 transmission in Zimbabwe as sporadic, with one or more cases imported or locally detected. This may suggest that despite the small numbers tested, our country might have a reduced COVID-19 trajectory.
Yebo kambe Zumlukandaba liyamuzwa umongameli Emmerson Mnangagwa uyakhuluma phela. That was when he was addressing the nation at large on Saturday. One thing that was highlighted by umongameli Emmerson Mnangagwa is that on Saturday it was 42 people namhla sikhuluma nje over a couple of days sesiku 46 people. Saka ndiyo nyaya yathi nayo nasi Muchirongwa muri eZimbabwe. The lockdown, how is it affecting the youth of the nation? Umongameli Emmerson Mnangagwa limzwile echasisa ngempela bachinyatsana ngura kuti chirongwa lockdown chichange chiendera mberi for an indefinite period, chichange chiongororwa zvekare once every 2 weeks. So ndiyo nyaya tinayo nasi Muchirongwa muri Zimbabwe. 46 tested positive for COVID-19, 18 recovered and 4 dead. Over 29,000 COVID-19 tests done in the nation. If you're tuning in via radio, we're broadcasting on 909 medium wave frequency, triple Jakare, pa 4930-6040 and pa 15460. I must remind you, Muri Zimbabwe, Chirongwa is pre-recorded, it's not live. Tino Rombo, I wish you would see Bedi Lako Ungena Gushelo Sikoke Pela Ngobunengi Betu, Zisine Muri Zimbabwe, Silapa, Ndiripo, Nemi, my Indini when you might go Tripano, Pachirongwa cheThe uhlelo the connection lelami uMike kana mshida uchipa umaondre nyu munokwanisa uchichumira ma message pa WhatsApp pa number 01 202 465 0318 makachira chirongwa cheThe uhlelo the connection lelami uMike. uhlelo the connection lelami uMike Hove. Laba bafisa uxoxa lami ngikhona ku Twitter njalo ku Instagram @BigMike3 BIGMYKE3 ndipo pamunokwanisa kundibatha zvisine muri eZimbabwe tiri pano pachirongwa cheThe for the next hour pano pane venyuro yestudio 7. So early on you heard umongameli Emmerson Mnangagwa echela phela uZulu vachinyatsana ngura kuti chirongwa lockdown chichange chiendera mberi for what he's saying is an indefinite period which is going to be up for review once every 2 weeks. Saka it wouldn't have made sense kuti tive nechirongwa cheThe tichitaura nezve lockdown tisinganzweka kuti nyanzvi dzinongorora nyaya dzezveutano ivo what do they have to say. So sixhume udokotela tinotenda simemeza ukuze sizwe phela ukuthi yena ukubona njani lokho okusanda kushiwo ngumongameli Emmerson Mnangagwa whereby he said ukuthi uhlelo lockdown uhlelo lukahulumende luzabe luqhubekela phambili. So let's head over to an interview that I had earlier on lo dokotela tinotenda simemeza over Skype.
Zvakataurwa naPresident is actually good in the sense that kuti vanhu vasanyanye kunge vachiwanda vari muma-public spaces. So it's better kuti lockdown extendwe. But also zvine ma-disadvantages yekuti vanhu vari kuda kutsvaga raramo uyezve vanhu vari kuda kutsvaga chikafu nemari, saka kuti vanhu varambe vari mudzimba zvinotinetsei. Saka panofanira kunge pane balance ipapo. But from a health perspective, we are saying we are encouraging the situation to continue so that zvitipe time yekuti tiwane mushonga or vaccine yekuti tikwanise kurapa chirwere ichi.
Now, Dr. Smemeza, at some stage and point, takambonzwa mutungamiri wenyika vaMnangagwa saying that the lockdown itself is not the answer when we're talking about the situation as to how to curb coronavirus. But now, all of a sudden, with this coming into play, it seems like a complete U-turn. to say that, you know, the lockdown is indefinite whilst we figure out other alternative means. In actual fact, if we listen to his speech, he seems to give credit to a lot of things that have come out in terms of the numbers that Zimbabwe is currently having to deal with to the lockdown itself. What could have triggered this absolute U-turn in terms of tone and speech?
I think it's basically maybe to do with the numbers that are being recorded, but they are not as much. And although the numbers are increasing, but we see compared to other people in the region, they are not as much. And this can be attributed to matesa tweet mashoma. We have such a capacity yekuti community testing and so forth. And also we are seeing we've been doing RDT testing instead of PCR, and we need to up our PCR testing kits. So I think there are a lot of factors that are contributing to that, saying let's put the lockdown indefinitely, so that we may at least, I think, beef up in terms of our PCR tests and so forth. So I think there are a lot of factors that are contributing to that.
All right, hold on. Let me just translate what you just said for our Ndebele audience, and then I'll come back to you so that we can continue the conversation. Yebo kambe Zulugandaba wonke umuntu ongenayo kuhlelo The Connection. Welcome. Namhla kuhlelo siqhubekela phambili sithinta udaba lomkhuhlane we-coronavirus. Nge-weekend sibone umongameli Emmerson Mnangagwa etshela phela uZulu ukuthi hayi uhlelo lukahulumende lo-lockdown luzabe luqhubekela phambili luku-phase 2 for an indefinite period. Okwesikhathi eside, of course, they're going to be reviewing uhlelo lolu once every 2 weeks. So kuhlelo silo dokotela Tinothenda Simemeza siyezwa phela ukuthi simnxusile ngenxa yokuthi sifisa ukuzwa ukuthi bona njengengcwethi abodokotela bakubona njani lokho kushiwo ngumongameli Emmerson Mnangagwa. Into yokuqala udokotela Simemeza uyasho ngempela ukuthi hayi ukhanya ngani kuyahlupha ngenxa yokuthi abantu kumele bathole labo ithuba lokuphuma beyodinga okukudla eningi labantu, njengoba lingakhohlwi phela ukuthi eningi labantu liku-informal sector. So ushilo ukuthi kuyahlupha, kodwa bona njengabodokotela bathi hayi uhulumende bayamshayela uhlombe ngenxa yokuthi from a health perspective hayi lokho kuhle kakhulu ngenxa yokuthi abafuni phela ukuthi umkhuhlane lo to spread elizweni. Siphinde phela ngambuza ngathi not so long ago umongameli Mnangagwa simzwile phela sithi i-lockdown ayisilona impendulo nxa sesikhangela uku-maintainer ukumanager umkhuhlane lo we-coronavirus. Ngimbuzile wathi hayi yebo ngempela lokhu kuliqiniso, kodwa yena ubona ngani umongameli Emmerson Mnangagwa usetshintshile phela ithoni yakhe ngenxa yokuthi kulezinto eziningi ezenzakalayo. Into yokuqala phela lingakhohlwi ukuthi i-lockdown yona ngokwayo isivimbe ezinto eziningi ukuthi ziyenzekale. Into yokuqala ukuthi ama-numbers ngokwawo sibona phela umongameli ubesithi ibona njengohulumende they were expecting ukuthi ngo-April kube labantu 1,000 who have umkhuhlane lo we-coronavirus, kodwa namhla sikhuluma nje kulabantu abayi-46 kuphela. So yikho lokho kusanda ukushiwo ngudokotela Tinothenda Simemeza. Doc, now phathakathaka kunza ephanapa pachirongwa chedu nevechidiki. I remember we were talking about the issues that doctors were facing in the country. This is when Corona was all still fresh. And one of the issues that you highlighted was, as doctors, you guys were in urgent need of PPE. A lot of doctors, in actual fact, for as long as it's not PPE, I need to put my health first. Has that changed?
Yes, it's changed for a while, but also sometimes the PPE is in shortage. So we sometimes have erratic supply, but the supply has been there. So for times when we don't have, we always keep on advocating for more PPE because it's really important that we protect ourselves. But depending on the department you're working in and the need for the PPE, like I described last time, there are red zone areas, green zone areas, and so forth. The PPE is there, but sometimes one may take a shortage, and then zombo gadziriswa. But Most of the doctors, we are working, but we just need to keep on advocating for constant supply of PPE so that it's always there and there's no shortages.
Now, let us break down the lockdown period itself. In his speech, and obviously I'm going to keep referring to the speech that President Mnangagwa gave because that's the official position. He highlighted some of the estimates, the initial estimates that government had, of course, after consulting medical experts. And they were saying that Zimbabwe by April was expected to have over 1,000 plus COVID-19 related cases. But now with the lockdown and other implementations that government has put in place, i.e. the quarantining of people coming in and so forth, this has helped in terms of keeping the numbers low down to 46. With bearing in mind that the testing itself is not enough in the country, would you say that this is something that is I guess for lack of a better word, correct?
I think what I would say, we shouldn't be 100% certain that the test that we have conducted is low, because we might have people who are walking around. We have actually the virus, but just haven't been tested. So I think for us to be so certain, to be 100% assured of our statistics, we need to do rampant testing. I think it's only fair that we do as much testing as possible, and then we'll then come up with a conclusion that for sure the number of the incidence of the coronavirus in Zimbabwe is not that much. So I think from an analytical perspective, we need to, there should be a balance of the number of tests and also the number of confirmed cases. But also from the statistics that we have now, we are seeing a really low number, which can be attributed that maybe we have a low infection rate, but to be certain, we need to do more tests so that we know for certain, and we can be assured.
How much credit would you give the lockdown for this low number that we have thus far? Yes, we agree that there needs to be more testing done, but based on the numbers that we have right now, it seems to be pretty low.
I think the lockdown really helped in terms of stopping the spread, because I think we had the lockdown, was it 3 weeks after we had our first case?
Right.
And from that time, we saw that in terms of the trajectory of the statistics, it was just on a minimal slide. So the lockdown really helped in terms of social distancing and also stopping the spread of the virus. So yeah, we should really give credit to it.
Now, Dr. Kutarisa, I remember even our last conversation that we had, we highlighted that yes, chirwere initially, when it was conducted in Zimbabwe, it came from outside into the country. But now there's actually people within the country that are spreading it. There's people who have died. There's people who have contracted COVID-19 that have zero travel history. In actual fact, some of them say, I have never met someone who has traveled. Is the lockdown something that is helping in terms of minimalizing those cases, considering the fact that people, the disease is now spreading within society itself?
Yeah, I think the initial part of the lockdown, which was when we were on 100% lockdown, really helped. But right now we're seeing that we have lessened the criteria for the lockdown. We're now on level 2, and people are now back in the community and so forth. So in terms of the criteria, atichanyanya kuda kutibvunza kuti wakatravela here or so forth, because we now know that the virus is now spreading at a community level. So it's no longer a question of whether you traveled or not. It's now a question, have you been in contact, whether knowingly or unknowingly, with someone who has the virus? So the initial stages of the lockdown really helped. But now, as we have lessened the lockdown, we're going to probably see the results in about 3 weeks' time, 4 weeks' time, to see whether there's still that community spread. Because since we've lessened the lockdown, which means the people are now interacting more, and we have lessened the social distancing. So we have to see maybe in 2-3 weeks' time to see what would the situation will be like.
Which would explain why the lockdown is being reviewed every 2 weeks.
Yes.
All right.
I think that's the idea behind it.
All right, hold on, let me translate one more time and then we'll wrap up our conversation. So Zulukandaba liyamuzo udokotela cheThe Simemeza sisanda phela ukuthinta udaba siyenza analysis yalolu hlelo lwe-lockdown siyezwa ngishilo earlier on ngathi umongameli eMarcelo Mnangagwa ushilo ngempela ukuthi uhlelo lwe-lockdown luzabe luqhubekela phambili ngokwesikhathi eside. Into yokuqala ngimbuzile udokotela Simemeza ukuthi njengoba sizwe umongameli eMarcelo Mnangagwa over the weekend esisithi njengohulumende bona they were expecting at least abantu abedlula 1000 elizweni abazabe belo mkhuhlane lo, kodwa uhlelo lwe-lockdown yena umongameli eMarcelo Mnangagwa uthi lusizile ngempela nxa sesikhuluma ngendaba yokuthi we're ensuring ukuthi umkhuhlane lo doesn't spread elizweni. Ngimbuzile udokotela Simemeza ukuthi yena ulakho na ukusupporta lokhu kusanda kushiwo ngumongameli eMarcelo Mnangagwa, wathi khanye ngani kuyahlupha ngenxa yokuthi sikhangela ama-tests aseyenziwe elizweni uthi they are not enough. Kumele njengelizwe sizame phela to ensure ukuthi we can test more people. Yena nxa sisithi ama-tests akasho phela ama-RDT tests uthi ama-PCR tests lawa atshengisa phela uzulu ukuthi ngempela umuntu ulawo na umkhuhlane yobo noma cha. Ngiphinde ngambuza phela ukuthi lapho saqala ukumletha lapha kuhlelo lwethu labasakhulayo ngambuza ngempela ngathi njengabodokotela bona bafunani, wathi hayi into yokuqala, and this is a couple of weeks back, wathi i-PPE iyafunakala. Ngimbuzile ngathi lokhu sekutshintshile na, wathi yebo khanya ngani uhulumeni uyazama, sometimes iyabuya i-PPE sometimes ayibuyi, kodwa uthi ukhanya ngani uyazama in terms of providing i-PPE, impahla zokuzivikela. So Doc Simemeza, as we wrap up our conversation, I remember we were highlighting that PCR tests are more accurate in terms of showing whether or not someone has coronavirus. As we speak to date, the nation, we've done more RDT tests than PCR. But over the weekend, we heard President Emmerson Mnangagwa saying that it seems as though, as government, they're now trying to push for more PCR tests. How did you guys take this statement in?
Yeah, I think we really it should be followed up with action. We really need PCR tests more than RDT tests, and so that we can be certain with our statistics, and so that we may be comfortable, and also to have proper research done in terms of our Zimbabwean context. Because if we do RDT tests, they do not really give us much information. So it's really good that we do more PCR tests, and it should be followed up with action, so that we can do our own studies here in Zimbabwe that can be really conclusive and really good.
All right, Dr. cheThe Simemeza, sithanda ukubonga udokotela cheThe Simemeza, who an interview I had with him earlier on. Limzwile ngempela, he was touching on several different things that pertain to uhlelo lukahulumende olwe lockdown. Uyakhuthaza phela uzulu ukuthi yebo uhulumende has reduced ama-phases sesiku-phase 2. Kodwa even angayikhipha i-lockdown, even ingaphela, even ikaphela chirongwa che-lockdown, azvire ukuthi chirwere che-coronavirus chayenda. Saka ari kukurudzira vanhu, uyakhuthaza uzulu ukuthi please qhubekelani phambili, respecting imithetho ye-social distancing, ligqoka ama-mask, and respecting other rules that pertain to umkhuhlane lo we-coronavirus. Saka ndiyo nyaya yathu nayo nasi Muchirongwa muri yeZimbabwe, ndiyo nyaya yathu kuendera mberi nayo muri yeZimbabwe. Kana muchida kutupawo maondo enyu, musakangano tiripo papa wa WhatsApp pa +1202465 0318. Silusizi ukuthi uhlelo lolu ngeke liyenelise ukungena njengensukwini ngenxa ukuthi we're broadcasting this program from home due to COVID-19. One, into yesibili phela. Number two, this program is not live. Zviri muZimbabwe tiri pano pachirongwa chedu chevechidiki uhlelo The Connection lilami uMike Hove.
Zikhipha lapho egama ngumawiza, I'm a kwaito artist aka Mr. Ngikhuluma isikhiwa ngevernacular. Guys, COVID-19 abayibiza ngecorona into ekhona. Phambili nge-social distancing, asigezeni izandla, always stay safe, stay home. Last night.
Easy machita, easy.
Weezer on the beat. Uthi phambili nge-social distancing lingakhohlwa phela. 2019 is the number to dial if you're looking to learn more information on umkhuhlane we-coronavirus elizweni. Saka nasi Muchirongwa tiri kunyatso analyzer zvakataurwa nemutungamiriri wenyika apo vakati lockdown ichange ichiendera mberi for an indefinite period iri phase 2, and it's going to be reviewed once every 2 weeks. Now this is something that's affected a lot of different industries, and umongameli Emmerson Mnangagwa also touched on, you remember last week we were talking about imfundo and how a lot of people are now saying ukuthi kulethuba lokuthi abantu might have to resort to e-learning. Hayi, umongameli Emmerson Mnangagwa addressed that on Saturday esithi izikolo zizabe zivulwa phela following guidance kahulumende uthi they're going to be opening schools in different phases, and in phase 1 is going to be those that are writing final exams. Let's hear what umongameli Emmerson Mnangagwa said about the education sector. Once again, the video we're about to play is from the same speech we played earlier on, courtesy of Zimpaper's TV network.
As previously stated, public exam classes within schools and the final year students at colleges and universities must be allowed to continue, recognizing, however, the stipulated COVID-19 prevention measures. Meanwhile, clear plans of the phased reopening of schools must continue to be put in place.
All right, so that was President Emmerson Mnangagwa, where he was addressing the nation on Saturday. Izikolo are going to be opening soon. Phase 1 is going to be those that are writing their final exams. Now, let's head over to what Inhlanganiso Zimsek had to say about this, whereby they were addressing Parliament, where they were addressing one of the parliamentary boards that look at education-related matters. The footage you're about to watch is courtesy of Open Parley.
All the examinations in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, ZIMSEC put in place a business continuity strategy to ensure that the production and the processing of examinations would go ahead. So we were waiting for government direction so that we are able to deploy our examinations to schools. The deployment of these examinations is dependent on the reopening of schools, and I am sure that all of us heard His Excellency the President on Saturday indicating that examination classes will start. But the start of it is the work of the ministries of primary and secondary education, the Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education, and of course the Ministry of Health. So we are waiting for the exact date when these are to start, and we will be in a position to restructure our timetable.
ZIMSEC has highlighted a lot of different things. Number one, they said so they are ready, and they have been ready for a while for June examinations. In April, 24 to the exact, Bonabe ZIMSEC postponed the exams when they were awaiting what do they have in mind with regards to schools and COVID and coronavirus. So they postponed the exams by a month, and now they've said ukuthi njengoba bona they are now ready, they are now waiting ukuthi bazwe phela from uhulumende ukuthi what is the exact date that they can now start strategizing. So the days are still pending, and njalo iZimsek bayakhuthaza wonke umuntu ongatholanga ithuba lokubhalisa for their June exams ukuthi baqale phela ukubhalisa ngenxa yokuthi balakho ukubhala imihloliso yabo bachawana mikhana yekunyora ma exam abo muna November. Now I also reached out to the teachers themselves ukuthi sizwe ukuthi how are they taking in zvakataurwa nemutungamiri wenyika on a Saturday, whereby he said schools are going to be reopening. A lot of teachers, for example, Sanganore Amalgamated Rural Teachers Union of Zimbabwe, were highlighting what are not ready. Schools are not ready to reopen, and a lot of things need to be addressed first before schools reopen. So I reached out to Omunyawabo, the Secretary General of Amalgamated Rural Teachers Union of Zimbabwe, Umnumzana Robson Chere, to hear what he had to say. Over the phone. Asizweni umbono ka Robson Chere.
In reality, just a declaration of schools opening to accommodate exam classes without actually putting up proper safety measures on the learning environment. In this case, I'm referring to schools, will not work. Sangano reZimseki rakavhura page padande mutande zvokwadi raita kuti vanhu vange vanokwanisa kunge vachiwanawo mukana wekuenda padande mutande vanga vachikwanisa kunge vachiregister. Asi tichitarisa zvikoro zvedu izvi zvingokwanisa kubatsira zvikoro zviya zvine access kwatinoti kuinternet. Hazvisi zvikoro zvese, zvikoro zvakawanda zvikuru kunyanya mumaruwa hazvikwanisi kunge zvichiwana access yekuenda padande mutande iri. Handizvo zvingakwanise zvinge zvibatsira kuti vana vanga vachikwanisa kuregister kunge vachinyora bvunzo dzavo. Zvakataurwa neZimseki zvakanaka chose kuti vana vakanga vasina kukwanisa kunge varegister vanga vachipiwa mumwe mukana wekuregister. Ndodaira kuti nyaya yatakanga tavaudza yekuti nyaya yekuti nguva yamapa vanhu kuti varegister ishomanini tichitarisa mawanira anoita vanhu mari munyika medu kuti mari iri kunetsa zvikuru. Iyozve tinoti ma-examination fees akakwira zvakanyanya. Saka paida nguva yekuti vabereki vangu vatsvaga mari, asi zvisinei nyaya yemari yatikutaura ichitori mari yakakura zvikuru zvekuti kunyange hazvo vapiwa mumwe mukana wekuregister hatisi kuzoona vana wese vachibudirira kunge vange vachiregister zvekare nenyaya idzo dzinochokuita nemari. At the moment, it's very difficult for teachers to be engaging in the process of preparing their learners for their examinations, because we are saying teachers, they are also under lockdown. They are locked in their homes. The schools are closed, and also the same applies to the learners. We don't have actually the alternative methods of engaging in learning when we have a scenario like this. This is the first time to experience such a scenario whereby learners are at their homes, teachers are at their homes, and at the same time we do not have the technological infrastructure which can assist in online learning. We've launched an online school which is benefiting about more than 5,000 schools, but this is little. Preparation, Zimseki is saying it's prepared, but preparation is not only dishing out the question papers, but preparation now in this instant where we now have the COVID-19, it must include also the safety of the learners, how the material is going to be handled, how our learners are going to be, even the sitting arrangement, how the schools that are being used as quarantine centers for COVID-19 are going to be disinfected, how are we going to cater for the protective equipment for both the learners and the education. So when Zimseki is saying it is prepared when those fundamentals have not been addressed, it will be a lie to the whole world. The idea of having the examinations papers or materials being disinfected is welcome, but like I said before, we have also other issues besides the issue of the materials only being disinfected. Nyaya yekuti zvikoro zvedu ndizvo zvichange zvichiprovide PPE material, toti protective material panguva yema-examination inyaya iri misplaced, nekuti kutaura nezvechikoro zvine shanda nemari shoma. Saka muri kuona even isu sevarairidzi we are finding difficult to have all the materials that should be there. Izvozvo zvokuti titi zvikoro zvichazokwanisa kunge zvichikwana mari kuraise enough funds to produce or to secure protective equipment, that one is very difficult. I don't think that is feasible.
The Secretary General of the Amalgamated Rural Teachers Union of Zimbabwe, umnumzana uRobson Chere, uyakhuluma phela umbono wabo uthi bona njengababalisi babona ngani ilizwe leZimbabwe alikabi ready ukuvula izikolo. He highlights a lot of things that pertain to izikhalazo zabo bona njengababalisi. Uthi into yokuqala lingakhohlwa phela kulezinye izikolo that are being used as ama-quarantine centers. Lingakhumbula ngithi kulabantu abadabukwabo abayizalwane seZimbabwe abaphila kwamanye amazwe njengabo South Africa, Botswana, bona nxa sebephenduka elizweni they are being quarantined, and some schools are being used as ama-quarantine centers. So yena uChere uyabuza uthi into yokuqala uyakhuluma ayakabuzi uyakhuluma ukuthi kulama steps amaningi that need to be considered before uhulumende takes into account ukuthi yena usefuna ukuvula izikolo. So yilolu daba esilalo namhlanje kuhlelo muri eZimbabwe ndiyo nyathi naye nasi Muchirongwa thava kunzwa kuna Robson Chere wesangano re-Amalgamated Rural Teachers Union of Zimbabwe wachitaura kuti lockdown, how is it affecting nyaya yedzidzo zvakataurwa nemutungamiri wenyika muSimbabwe apo wanga vachiti zvikoro zvichange zvichivhurwa soon and very soon. Vachange vachizvhura in phases, and phase 1 they're going to be reopening it for those vachange vachinyora ma-examinations. +1202465 is the number to text. 0318 is the number to text WhatsApp if you're looking to let us know. Lingakhohlwa phela Zulukandaba uhlelo lolu silusizi ngiyalikhumbula ngempela Zulukandaba. I wish you could join me. Godwa, this program is not live, and Jalo we are working from home, so we're not able to accommodate our callers. Guselani silapha sithose phano pachirongwa chedu chevechidiki uhlelo The Connection lilami uMaikove.
Hola ngutebze Dimbrexa aka Mr. Ferry one time. Bemfungula utshela ukuthi stay safe, lihlale right khona phela belikhona lihlale endlini ngoba this corona is real. Sikhuleke uNkulunkulu nguye ongasiceda kuphela. Ngiyabonga.
Lemuzwa phela uTebza umhlabeleli womdumo weKwaito wechidiki anoimba Kwaito kuZimbabwe ko Tebza under control tribe uyasho ngempela uthi garai kuZimba gorai kuZimba garai kuZimba. Stay at home. Lingakhohlwa 2019 is the number to call if you're looking to learn more information about coronavirus in Zimbabwe. Now, as we continue the conversation, the lockdown itself is something that's affecting youth in different walks of life. Amongst them, Leah Kumbula Pela Sige Sakuluma Lo Sakulayo Hope Ndlovu. He once joined us in studio whereby we're talking about his company Tuvel. Now, Hope and his company Tuvel works in the transport industry. Umongameli Emerson Mnangagwa on Saturday announced ukuthi under the transport industry sikhuluma nje anyone outside of Zupco that wants to work kuzamele abhalise phela ngeZupco. Before we head over to Hope, let's head over to a clip once again courtesy of ZTN of umongameli Emerson Mnangagwa ekhuluma okunengi about transport industry under the lockdown.
Commuter omnibuses, combis and registered taxis, mushikashika, also remain banned. 16. Only Zupco buses and the Zupco contracted commuter omnibuses with the stipulated number of passengers and adhering to the sanitization and disinfection regulations will be permitted to operate.
Emerson Mnangagwa. That's the speech he delivered on Saturday, whereby he was addressing the nation at certain terms that are coming with the lockdown continuation, which is indefinite and up for review once every 2 weeks. Now let's head over to Ingoko Engenze Lo Hope Ndlovu, the founder of Tuvel, who had a reaction to what Umongameli Emerson Mnangagwa had to say.
So the ban that the president made has implications on public transport, which is that combis will never be seen on the street until kingdom come, basically. That's a problem, right? Because combis are the lifeblood of cities in all African countries. Like those minibuses are pretty much what makes transportation, what makes moving people from one place to another possible. Government, especially our government, does not have the capacity Zupco doesn't have the capacity by any margin to sort of like transport people in like a city like Lue or Harare in an efficient way. They don't have that capacity. So and so it's a bit painful to people who have sort of like, you know, have kept their vehicles you know, in their garages for the last 5 weeks, hoping that, you know, when things are better, the government will allow them. But it sort of seems that they're not being allowed. So okay, that's fine. But the challenging part that a lot of drivers are really looking at, I was actually in a conversation earlier with an operator who was one of our beta testers at the beginning of running TOVO. And it really feels like they're being muscled into working with Zupco, right? And that's a little bit unfair in a sense, because on one end you can't say, oh, okay, so, you know, combis, you're really allowed, but it's just that we only allow you if we swallow you, basically. If you are a part of like our you know, our big sort of like monopoly. And it now looks like the COVID pandemic and all these lockdown measures are now a cover for basically getting rid of phasing out combis. And that is obviously making a lot of people very uncomfortable. And more so knowing that, you know, some of these people, they invest a lot of money buying this vehicle. Some people have actually, you know, bought licenses, not like driver licenses, but like permits for them to operate. Some of them have joined associations. There are actually a lot of costs that are associated with starting a public transportation business. And if someone, especially the government, is telling you pack your vehicle or join us, it feels like coercion in a way. So, and that now speaks to, you know, like, you know, anti-competitive regulations. I'm sure their laws and all of the stuff can be easily resolved in the court. You know, you can't get rid of competition by just coming up with, you know, very arbitrary laws. But it is what it is.
Now, Hope, it seems as though Umongameli took this decision. Now, of course, I'm not President of Mnangagwa, so I can't say so. However, it seems as though he took the measures based on the health perspective. A city when you can monitor indlela abantu bebhoda ngayo endaweni ezitshiyeneyo elizweni, it becomes easier you know, to ensure ukuthi umkhuhlane we-coronavirus doesn't just spread. So if that's the case, then why are people finding it difficult for them ukuthi they just join Zupco association?
No, the challenge is that what the president said is not backed by any science. That is the problem. It's just an arbitrary measure. It's just saying, well, look, you know, we aren't seeing any significant rises in the sort of like number of cases. But anyways, we're just going to do this, and we're not going to put a timeline on it. We're just going to make it indefinite. So, I mean, of course, to the public transportation people, there are the implications for public transport. But to people who are, for example, you know, human rights lawyers and things like that, they're looking at this as, you know, from the civil liberties type of, you know, type of end that, you know, the president is essentially, you know, using all these, you know, countries essentially under martial law in a sense, right? Like you can't travel, you can travel without a pass, you know, all these things, right? And it's not really backed by any science. That is the part that people are like, okay, so you said we should lock down for a month and we're still not seeing any significant growth. Why don't you let us go back and operate? That would be the thing backed by the numbers, right? But these decisions are backed by any numbers. So it's a bit tough to justify that to someone who actually survives on a specific on transportation business.
Right. Bengicela ukuthi uchasisele for our Ndebele listeners ukuthi when we're now talking about udaba lwemisebenzi, we've spoken to some experts and they're saying ukuthi this means the unemployment sector vele might just get even higher ngenxa yokuthi a lot of people that were now using these alternative means as a means of making money. So nxa umongameli esithi hayi wonke umuntu sokumele asebenzise iZupco, lokho kusho ukuthini when we're talking about the employment sector?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. A lot of people are going to, because drivers, conductors, rank marshals, you know, a lot of all these people are employed by taxi operators, by these, you know, taxi operators. So okwenzakalayo ukuthi abantu abaningi abasebenza emakhombini basebenzela amabhizinisi, abantu abanikazi bamabhizinisi And okwenzakalayo ukuthi nxa amakhombi lawo engakhutshwa emgwaqweni abantu bonke laba bayaswela umsebenzi. And ngicabanga ukuthi koBulawayo singakhangela ama-association amakhombi anjengabo Bukta anjengabo Choba Mbayiwa, wonke ama-association lawo angabe lamakhombi afika kumbe 5,000. So nxa sesikucabanga kuhle sizitshela ukuthi ama-driver amakhombi wona lawo wonke angu-5,000 basela msebenzi kusasa. Lama winda angikhona sabe sikhuluma abantu abaningi onganani, sabe sikhuluma ngezimuli ezinganani ezizingasela obaba abasebenzayo endlini. So kumele bedinga eminye imisebenzi, njalo umsebenzi wokudrive amakhombi uvele wona siyawazi ukuthi umsebenzi o-informal, umsebenzi ongadingi ama-qualifications amaningi, ngoba lama-drivers license akakwanileyo kuhle abaningi bangikhona abala ezinye izinto abangakwanisa ukuziyenza ngaphandle kokudrive amakhombi. So lingabakhathela isinkwa emlonyeni bazadlana. And into yona leyo iza-affecta, izahlukuluza izimuli eziningi kakhulu. koBulawayo, eHarare, ilizwe lonke jikelele.
Now, Hope, do you think ukuthi there is enough Zupco buses? Ngike ngakhuluma lo munye umbalisi earlier on, ubesithi yena in his area iZupco ayitho ayifiki. Are there enough Zupco buses in the country to accommodate a program like this?
Zupco angkhona abavele malutshwane. Like these Zupcos are too few. They're too few, and part of the reason why they are compelling combis to join them is because they don't have enough. Part of it, like the language that they are speaking, essentially speaks volumes about what they can do and what they can't do. Because if they had the capacity to do it, why would they even need the combis to begin with? But also inkinga ikhona ukuthi bona bathi lina sebenzelani thina. Okuyikho okungafuniyo abantu abaku private sector.
Now, let's talk about chirwere itself. How does something like this affect chirwere's operations in a country like Zimbabwe?
It affects everything totally. Like if you think about it, our whole model, we essentially working on actually tweaking our model right now. But our model is based on working with individual private public transport operators, right? And it's meant to scale that way. But now once you have a single operator, it changes our business model. It even changes how we sort of think about customer acquisition. It's now essentially, again, going around knocking on the doors of government offices and dealing with bureaucrats, processes that could take years. But if you're dealing with individual operators, it's essentially a matter of convincing the individual operator to join your app.
All right, Zimbabwe Zimbabwe mavakunzwa kunava Hope Ndlovu, the founder of cheThe. He's highlighting how lokho kusanda kushiwo ngumongameli Emerson Mnangagwa about the transport industry ukuthi iZupco is going to be the only one working. Wonke umuntu ofuna ukusebenza uzamele asebenze phansi kweZupco. Hayi yena uthi it affects all the private players. Hope touches on how much money people would be losing out on. So sicheleni phela umbono wenu +1202 465 0318 is the number to text on WhatsApp.
Kusaenda paruzinzi nekuti COVID-19 chirwere chiriko. Garai muchisanitizer, gara une kako kasanitizer nekuti kanouraya virus. Chinza masymptoms evirus, kugombera isymptom, kupisa muviri isymptom, kutadza kupema zvakanaka hapana chakanaka pa masymptoms. Kana uchida rubatsiro fona pa2019 rubatsiro runouya pauri asingati zvichengetedze hama.
Just Signal in collaboration with Roots Africa. Uhlelo The Connection delami uMike Hove. nhasi muchirongwa tiri kuendera mberi tichikurukura nyaya yezvenational lockdown. Now, another thing that seems to have affected the national lockdown itself, or affected Zimbabweans during the national lockdown, is when we look at the human rights violations, or women's rights violations to be specific. Inombolo zangu, the numbers have skyrocketed. Vanhukadzi vari kupinda busy panguva ye lockdown. Women are currently experiencing a lot of women's rights violations. So to hear more, I reached out to the founder or the director of Roots Africa, zviri Beatrice Savage. Ngatinzwei maondo avo pamusoro pezve matambudziko ari kutarisana nevanhukadzi panguva iyo nyika iri pakati pechirongwa che-lockdown.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in, Mike, and very disheartening that whilst we're having to deal with this pandemic, COVID-19, we also have to deal with some other pandemics that are happening with this pandemic, like an increase in sexual and gender-based violence. Musasa reported that, I think on the 11th or the 9th day when the lockdown was announced, after the lockdown was announced, they had recorded about 764 cases of sexual and gender-based violence, which is way more than the number that they normally record per month. So it's just been a lot of violations happening, not just sexual violations, not just, physical violations, but we've recorded like various cases of violence against women. And you rightfully put it that there's been a general increase.
Mm-hmm. Now, what exactly? Oh, go ahead.
And as an organization, really what we've done to respond to gender-based violence is we have opened a shelter where we are supporting survivors of sexual and gender-based violence. We have so far sheltered 31 adults and 5 minors at the shelter, all coming in with different issues of rape, issues of physical abuse, emotional abuse, economic abuse, a lot of just violations happening. And as an organization, we do not, condone violence in any form against anybody. And our standpoint is that whenever people are in violation of any law, they're supposed to be taken through the necessary and correct procedures, and that the police should avoid using violence, especially against citizens that are unarmed.
Chichitarisa panguva ino of the lockdown, what exactly is causing this spike in terms of women's rights violations?
I think it's a lot of issues, Mike. We talk of tension, like talking to the clients that have come to our shelter. The tension of just waking up every day, you're facing each other, and there's no food in the house. There's just that general tension of not having food. But it's not a new thing that's happening. Gender-based violence is something that we have always been grappling with as an organization and as Zimbabwe. It's just that now it has intensified, it has escalated because of the lockdown, but it's something that has just been happening. It's to do with maybe the legal framework that's not very supportive. We have had cases right now, as I'm talking to you, some of our clients who went to report the police were told to go back home, and the police said, because of COVID, we're not arresting anybody. So you just go there, they record your case, then you go back and live in the same house with the perpetrator. So it's a lot of issues. It's the patriarchal nature of society where there's that use of violence is a way of saying, oh, I have to prove that I'm a man, and just, an acceptance of violence as a norm amongst the community members.
Mm-hmm. Now, mzvare Savage tombotaura nerurimi rwamai, tiri kuona kune zvinhu zvakawanda zviri kuitika kune vanhukadzi munyika. Kubulawayo takaona vanhukadzi vakarohwa zvechokwadi nemapurisa. Tikaonawo zvekare vasikana 3 veMDC navo kune ishu yavo. Sesangano rinorwira kodzero dzevanhukadzi, zvese izvi muri kuzvitambira sei?
Zvinhu zvatinoshoropodza zvikuru zvekushungurudzwa kwemadzimai kuri kuitika during this lockdown. And personally, I've witnessed madzimai akanga arongedza musika kuGlenview. ndaenda chinoita mafood distribution kwakanga varongedza musika mandakaona vachitotorerwa zvinhu zvavo vachirohwa ndikakurukura nemasex workers vakataura kuti panguva ino yelockdown because of matravel restrictions mapurisa ari kuti akavabata vari kuti vavape bonde pachena semuripo wekuti mhosva dzavo dziregererwe. So zvinhu zvatisingakurudziri sesangano zvatinoti hurumende inofanira kuzvitarisisa munguva dzinoitika mapandemics akaita seCovid-19 ipapa ndo patiri kuona kumbunyikidzwa kwevanhu, kushungurudzwa kwevanhu and kodzero dzevanhu dzisingachengetedzwi. Saka zvinhu zvekuti hurumende ndiyo inofanira kunge ichigadzirisa nekutarisa kuti kodzero dzevanhu dzisange dzichimbunyikidzwa. Vanhu vese zvavo tisingamboti kana kuti madzimai chete.
Takamboita hurukuro mukatudza nezveshelter yamuinayo iyo yakanangana nekubatsira vanhukadzi vane kodzero dzavo dzekumbunyikidzwa. Pari zvino pane vanhu vachi vauya here vachitsvaga rubatsiro?
Hongu, pari zvino tambira vanhu vakuru, madzimai nevasikana vechidiki, vamwe vakabatwa chibharo, vamwe vakarohwa nemapadza, vamwe nyaya dzakawandisa kushungurudzwa chaiko vauya mushelter vanosvika 31 ndo 30 nerimwe chete nerimwe chete kana shona yangu iri kwazvo. Nevana vadiki vakauya nanamai vavo vanoita 5. Saka ndo vanhu vatatambira sofa and titori nemademands akawanda evamwe vekuti vari kutokumbira rubatsiro vari kunana gokwe vekuti hatisi kutokwanisa because zvinoda mari yekuti tivatakure kubva ikoko kuti vauye kushelter nenyaya yematravel restrictions ariko kuti vafambe zviri kunetsa futi, but kune demand yakanyanyisa vanhu vari kuda rubatsiro rwepekugara panguva ino yekuti vari kumbunyikidzwa nguva dzelockdown.
Now kunze kwechirongwa chamuinacho ichi chekuvabatsira muchivapa pekugara, mune zvimwe here zvirongwa zvakanangana nekubatsira vanhukadzi vane kodzero dziri kumbunyikidzwa?
Hongu, hatisi kunguvapa pekugara chete, pane vamwe vekuti hatisi kukwanisa kuvapa kuti vauye kuzogara sevandatauraiwo vekuti vari kunzvimbo dziri kure. Tiri kuvabatsira neyatingati psychosocial support and counseling. Tine makansela edu ekuroots nemamwe masangano akasiyana-siyana ari kushanda panguva dzino dzelockdown vakaita sekunana adult rep clinic, vana zwala vari kubatsira vanhu panhare ipapa kuti munhu asiri kukwanisa kuuya but achida ruzivo, achida kuzati oita sei, anogona kubatsirwa kuti awane ruzivo runoita kuti abude musituation iyoyo ari kumbunyikidzwa.
Now, Beatrice, we've seen a trend. Early on, you also highlighted something that concerns the police themselves. It seems that whenever an instance happens, a lot of the times we hear about how the investigation is going on. An example is Kubulawayo. There's also the investigation right now. Do you think that the police are doing everything they can to ensure that our women's rights are protected in Zimbabwe?
I would want to see them doing more. Whenever there are any violations, because I don't think it's a good position for the state to be in when you're accused of having abducted people or injured people or beaten up people. So if the state has no hand in this, they should be working flat out to make sure that they've done necessary investigations and just bring it to the fore that this is the position. And I don't think it's a good space to be in as the state when they say there's a third hand that's causing all these abductions and all these shenanigans that are happening. And as a state, you are not content that there is a third hand that you're not in control of and that you don't know by name that it's so and so who's doing this to our citizens. So I would want to see a position where the government, works flat out to really show who is doing this in our community, because violence should not have a place in our community, especially in this time when we're dealing with a major world crisis, that needs all of us to be putting our hands on deck.
Now, tichipeta hurukuro yedu zvaresavadye nemaondrenu nyaya iyi inogadziriswa sei for us to get to a stage and point where vanhukadzi vanozvionawo feeling safe muZimbabwe?
Mukoma Mike, tichine rwendo rwakati rebei ipapo pekuti vakadzi vaite feel safe and so that we have safe safe cities. It's a lot of things. I think fanira kunge zviri embedded within my policies edu hurumende, my town council chaiwo. I'll give you an example. Yekuti pandaimbogara imwe nzvimbo iri kure isiri muZimbabwe. Ndaifamba usiku kana kuma 10-11 and would feel very safe. Ndaitotya kusangana nemhuka than kusangana nemunhu achandimbunyikidza because my streets are well lit. Pane rapid response, ukangoita anything ukafona unowana rubatsiro. So achisi chinhu chekuti chinoda ngogadzirwa pasurface. It's a lot of things that need to come into play. My policies edu, how we resource even those policies. Like I'm saying, simple things like having my street lights. Ekuti kana munhu uchifamba unokwanisa kufamba pakajeka. Ukafonera mapurisa anouya immediately.
Muzvare Beatrice Savage, Director of Roots Africa. Ubechasisa ngempela Beatrice about women's rights violations that are happening elizweni kulesisikhathi ilizwe lonke likuhlelo lwe-lockdown. Saka ndiyo nyaya ethathi nayo nasi Muchirongwa muri eZimbabwe. Unfortunately chinobhururuka chinomhara muri eZimbabwe tasvika kumagumo echirongwa chedu chanhasi. Sesifikile maphetsoleni ohlelo namuhla isikhathi sami sesidliwe ngumangoyi. Kodwa abafisa uxoxa lami lingakhohlwe ngikhona ku-Twitter njalo ku-Instagram @BigMike3 BIGMYKE3. Nasi Muchirongwa thakathi chikurukura nyaya yezve national lockdown. On Saturday, President Emerson Mnangagwa announced kuti chirongwa chehurumende che-lockdown icho chinokurudzira vanhu kuti vagare mudzimba chiri kuendera mberi for an indefinite period. Hurumende ichange ichiongorora chirongwa ichi once every 2 weeks kuona progress yaitwa. Bwana lokwalamhla mthakazo muhle asihlanganeni kuhlelo lethu labasakhulayo same time same place next week. Olivalisayo ngenjabulo muri eZimbabwe anokoneka inemfaro ndino Mike Hove. Bye bye.